Hi, so we're live on YouTube. Welcome. So today I have the fabulous Ali Young with me. Um, I've brought her onto the channel as we actually met at our coaching course a few months ago. But amazingly, just recently, she took part in the Grand Union Canal Race, which is an 145-mile race from Birmingham to London. Not only was she first lady, but she was third overall and completed it in an incredible time of 28 hours and 35 minutes. So welcome, Ali. Say hello.
Hello, Katie. It's nice to see you again.
Yes, I know it's been a while. I kind of forgot that you were doing this race, if I was being honest. And then I'd seen your name pop up because a few club members were doing it. I was like, wow. And I actually was very hot on the tracker and watching your progress throughout this. And it was incredible to watch. I think a few people were posting some updates in a Facebook group, some of your club friends. And yeah, what an amazing achievement. How are you feeling now?
I'm not too bad now. Yeah, so we are Wednesday, and so the week after, you always, to be honest, after a really long race, that night it's like you've been kind of run over by a bus. Just a matter of temporary kind of damage you've done. So you just sit there, everything aches. Probably for 2 nights, so you get more disruptive sleep as well. It's hard to sleep after an event. And so if you bear in mind, didn't sleep at all Saturday, obviously, the race. Friday night, before the race, we stayed in Birmingham at the Travel Lodge, and it was on the main strip of the Birmingham nightlife. So I might as well have been in a nightclub.
Oh, fantastic.
So it's like, I do like my dance music. So like 1 a.m. toe tapping. This is not good. The night before. And then it's 4:30 alarm, ready to go to the race. So all in all, it's a lot of just to stop, let alone the running. You've got hardly any sleep Friday into the race. So exhausting. But then my it's fine. It's recovered really well. Just last week I was just really tired. Like kind of bubble, kind of bubble around your head that just shattered, exhausted. But the body's okay, and now I feel more myself today. So
Good.
I've been building more and more. Like before, I was like just not myself, not my usual cheery self. But I'm okay now. Yes.
Fantastic. So yeah, just a bit about your background. So I guess what got us talking on our course was that there were both personal trainers, although you have a lot more experience than I am, and you've also been running for quite a long time. So tell us a bit about your background as a personal trainer and how you kind of got into running.
So I am 45 now, and I have been a PT for 10 years. So before that, I worked for the probation service and also an advertising TV producer, and I had my two girls. I didn't actually start getting to my running till after the children. So when I was about 34, 33, 34, so I was kind of quite late to it, really. I did my PT course while the kids were really little. So when they were ready to go to school, I was ready to work, and I did my own boot camp called Park Fit in Amersham, my local park, and that I've just had my 10-year anniversary for that. So that
Oh,
was good.
congratulations.
So we had a right nice session, and we had a big dinner, so that was good. So and then when the kids were little, it's kind of like my time out going to they had a creche at the gym. So the kids would go in there. And I just really enjoyed the gym. And thought I kind of started as a bit of a hobby, kind of doing my course while they were little, and it's just kind of progressed. And I really enjoy my job. It's really enjoyable. And kind of started. I always sort of before have just gone on the treadmill and seen how quick I could do 5K. It was just so not as a runner at all, but just not knowing what I was doing. But I had to kind of, that's what I'd go in the gym and do 5K.
I think that's quite a standard thing for people that aren't too aware of running is just going to the gym, just trying to beat the same time
Yeah,
again and again.
yeah, yeah. I guess it keeps you motivated. You've got a goal. So you've got a goal, you try and beat it. So it keeps you going back. So it kind of worked. And then I didn't realize that, but obviously you're getting quite a lot of speed work, aren't you? So I think my gym had a running club, just at the really low key running club in the gym, and even before then I thought, oh, I'm not good enough to go with that, even with the gym running club. But slowly kind of started going with them, and eventually joined Chiltern Harriers, my running club now. But even at 32, would have, oh my, just everyone looked really cool, like really good runners in a running club. But as everyone finds out, running clubs are for everyone, every shape, size, every speed. And I think I'd entered my first race, and a local one down the road, and came fourth lady. So it kind of progressed. I kind of realized, oh, because I'd only done my treadmill thing. It's like, oh, I'm not too bad actually. So one thing led to the other, and I did my first marathon in 2008, and everything's kind of moved from there.
How long had you been running then by that point for your first marathon?
Gosh, my second, Lauren was born in 2005, so maybe two years. It's hard. Kind of, I've always kept fit through my life, so it's not like it was completely beginning, but it was the start of formal running, if you know what I mean, like running, training, and kind of following plans and stretching and all that business. So yeah, I did my first marathon, and then kind of subsequently did a marathon virtually every year. And for my 40th birthday, I decided to do the Marathon des Sables. So that's
Wow, I didn't know you did that.
yeah, so that's what got me into my ultra running. So I just started doing races because it was training for that. So I did the Druids which is really good. The extreme energy events, as an aside, are really good for anyone who want to do their first ultras. They do some really good local one-day events around my area. But they're Druids and pilgrims. They're very popular with people doing Marathon des Sables, but they're very good for anyone starting out because you're really looked after. The organisers really do. They have a lot of first timers, so I do recommend those to anyone.
Oh, brilliant.
So yeah, then I was in the desert doing the MDS, which was one of the best things I've ever done. Since then, it's certainly not the hardest. It's very doable. They make it very doable. Obviously, it's got challenges, your backpack and the heat, etc. But as soon as I finish, I want to do it again. Whereas some of the things I've done since, the last thing on my mind when I finished was I want to do it again. God, oh dear. But that's a brilliant event. It's just expensive.
Yeah.
You should put that on your list. It's brilliant. Really good fun.
Wow, I've just done 35-mile ultra. I'm not going to rush back anytime soon, but we'll see.
Although I'd say you're at your age, I was just going out and getting hammered a lot.
Oh, I've done that. I've done that already. That was
I did a long innings of that, in long. So the thought of doing anything like this in my 20s was a no-go. So well done.
Yeah, I think running's kind of changed a lot for me in a very positive way. So yeah, I've done the whole drinking thing when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, and I must have got into running in my early 20s really. So I've just always, at most weekends, tried not to drink on Saturday nights because long run Sundays.
Yeah.
I do enjoy a few
Yeah.
drinks now and then, but it's normally not on a Saturday.
Yeah. No, that's good. I admire people's yourself and the young people there commitment, because my drinking stage went through all my 20s.
Okay, so I know that you've done a few different ultras before. I didn't realise that you'd done the MDS, but I know that you've done a 24-hour world championship as well. Did a little bit of research. Did you come 14th in Europe?
Yes, I did. Yes, the last year's Europe. I've done one World Championships and 2 European Championships, and we've got the World Championships this coming October.
Wow!
So I've got that going on.
So what did you sign up for want to do the Grand Union Canal Run? And also, I don't know if this is true, please correct me if I'm wrong, but someone told me that with this, it's like a ballot, but they do it they put everyone's name down on a piece of paper and like pull it out of a hat, like proper old school. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. And they actually do the same for the Spartathlon, because I've done the Spartathlon as well. And that's a ballot. You have some people, yeah, the Grand Union Canal is proper old school. It's really low key. They make it clear, don't expect anything fancy. They make it clear. They make it very clear at the end of your run, don't expect anything. There will be no media. There will be no facilities at all. So it's old school, but it's brilliant. You know, it's
I love that.
really well run, but there's no yeah, it's warts and all, kind of, but that's fine. It's
So
good.
what made you want to do this one in particular?
I think I've just been doing one. So after the Marathon des Sables, you always end up sitting in the tent because you have a lot of downtime, especially if you're a bit quicker in the tent at the end of the day, and talking to your tent buddies about what races they do. And Gareth, one of my tent mates, was doing the Endure 24.
Yeah, heard of that one.
So they were doing that solo and running for 24 hours, which it just seemed ridiculous to me, just so stupid. But then cut to the following year, I was there. So I did Endure 24, and then came First Lady, and then did it again the next year, came First Lady, and then I signed up for the Tooting Beck 24 hour. So,
no, I've not heard of that one.
So that's around a 400-meter track.
Oh wow!
So, yeah, exactly. So I wasn't really aware of the GB world then. So I just thought it sounded really interesting. So obviously in a track, whereas Endure 24, it's a 5-mile loop, testing hills, but the track, I thought there's absolutely nothing in your way. You can see exactly.
You're exposed there.
Yeah, what you can do. So just how far can you run in 24 hours? And with that, I ran 135 miles and hadn't run, but I qualified for Team GB, for the 24-hour team.
Yeah.
So the year after, so I ended up in the European Championships, then a World, then Europeans, and then there's certain races. Speaking with my buddy, the 24-hour runners, Spartathlon was one. So I did that in 2017. But I had an auto qualifier for that from my 24-hour time. It's quite hard to get into. Again, it's a ballot.
Right.
So you have to qualify. There's a certain rating, you get an auto qualifier. So if you get either 100-mile time or 24-hour time, and the rest is ballot. So there's a big waiting list. I mean, the amount of crazy people are out there, it's mental. It's like people can't believe there's an ultra marathons going on every weekend, in this country now, isn't there?
Yeah, and I think unless you actively know about it or search for it, I didn't realise how much there actually was. I guess because it's never been on my radar.
Yeah.
Realise, like, I've heard of the big stuff, like Endure 24, because I guess that's quite a commercial thing because you can enter a team.
Yeah, it's good fun.
I had heard of the Grand Union Canal before because it does go through Milton Keynes, so I had heard of it.
Yeah.
The profile of it was raised for me more because I knew a couple of people that were in it this year. But I guess unless you're invested in that sort of thing, you wouldn't have any idea of what sort of stuff around. So how did you prepare for, how can you prepare for a 145-mile race? Because obviously, when I prepare for a marathon, I don't go anywhere over sort of 20 to 22 miles. So I know that you can't go out, just leave the kids at home, be like, right, I'm just going out for a 100-mile run, do a 130-mile run, just prepare. I'm going to have 3 weeks taper. How do you actually prepare for a race of such extent?
So for pretty much all of my big ones, so Spartathlon, all my 24-hour runs, I've pretty much followed a marathon training. It kind of has normally fallen in line that I've had a marathon. Because for me, I don't think you can train for a 145-mile race. There's not, and everyone will tell you something different, and everyone is different. So you should follow the plan that makes you feel you nailed it. But for me, it is being as fit as I possibly can be, and strong as I possibly can be.
Yeah.
So that to me doesn't include running 30 miles each weekend. That to me, high mileage wears people out. They get injured. It also doesn't appeal to me. I don't enjoy, believe it or not, long runs. I give me part run.
Yeah, I know you're a massive fan of part run.
Part run fan. you know, about an hour and I'm done kind of thing. I'm not sort of like, we've got lots of team buddies who go, oh yeah, it's going to do 6 hours, and that's brilliant. It's just it's fantastic. It's just not me. But also, I don't follow that as, for me, as being the fittest I can. I think it just wears you out. So I like being strong. So in the gym, and feel I've got speed, but just feeling my best. Well, I'll go running 6 days a week, but it might not be far. And actually, for ultras, when I follow a marathon plan. Had a marathon coach for the last few years, Brian Smith, who's given me my plans. And we used to meet up. I didn't see him at all this year. I just follow a plan. But for ultra marathons, I just coach myself.
Yeah.
It's very, very ad hoc. I just really think, what have I not done recently? Do I need a leg session? If it's on the back of a marathon, so for this one I did London Marathon. This was 4 weeks after. So I knew I had to have a time out the week after, but I wanted to do a couple of park runs on the back of it, use the speed, and I did a 5-mile race a week or 2 weeks later, and I got my fastest ever 5-miler. So that was good. And then it was 2 weeks before Grand Union Canal. So I did about 10 miles total in that 2 weeks. I did a massive leg session though 2 weeks before, where I was partly reason because I was in pain for about a week from it. I do a massive high rep session. It's actually my Park Fit people. So if I can't walk, I don't know how they feel. No, we've got a private Facebook group. We're all like, oh my goodness, I can't walk. But I think those really high rep leg sessions where it does really, I kind of personally for myself call it like a rip and rebuild.
Yeah.
I know how strong my legs are. So I think it just, did very little. And then, so about 5 days before Grand Union Canal, I would do a little yoga session just via a free YouTube one.
Yeah.
20 minutes does it. So I just put in YouTube yoga for runners, and would do that about 4 or 5 times before, and mobility. So just trying to loosen off. So I think that's really useful. But I don't have a fixed plan for ultra marathons. I just think, how can I get the fittest and strongest that I can?
Wow, that's amazing. Most people you hear and you speak to that do ultras, they talk about the back-to-back days, Saturdays and Sundays, high mileage, and so it's really interesting to hear from you that obviously you focus like on being strong. I think I'm a huge advocate of that. Obviously, myself as a personal trainer, I've noticed in the years that I've been a PT, I've had far less injuries, just from all of the being a stronger runner, I guess.
Yeah.
So strength training wise, how many times a week do you work out at the gym?
Again, I'm going to be really annoying here. It's just I don't even do a certain days, or I just suddenly think, oh, I haven't done a pull-up for ages. Make sure I can still do my 6 pull-ups in one go, and you're just basic strength. So, but I can join in my boot camp. I can join in so I'm always kind of keeping my hand in. Lunges and squats, Bulgarian split squats, bridge, your basics, keeping my core strong. So I am really go with the flow. So it's not the best. Some people are really rigid, but and that's why I like ultras, because I find marathon training the most stressful, to be honest. That's when I'm most stressed, because it's, tempo training. I hate tempo runs.
Me too. They're my least favourite.
Oh, I do a regular, well, when I'm a marathon training, a regular 5-mile one. It's just so hard.
The worst. It takes me all day to get out for my tempo runs. I normally do them on Thursdays, and I start moaning about them on Monday.
Yeah, but I have to say, from whatever my just, I guess, in tune with my own body, listening what I need, has meant, so even after none of my 24-hour runs, I've done 7 now. Spartathlon was 154 miles, which included a mountain at mile 100. Grand Union Canal, touch wood, because I've not had one single injury or following a big event. I have had injuries. It's more like things like I've been away all summer because the kids are off school, and gone and done a half marathon in September and run my usual, try to go really, my sub 7 minutes. Oh, your Achilles hurts. Well, that's a surprise, isn't it, if you haven't done any speed work? So it's just doing stupid things. But when I'm prepared for my ultras, I've got no sore knees, no sore hips. And it was, 10 days ago was the Grand Union Canal. The only main recovery was my head from that, to be honest. Just this haze of tiredness. I think it feels on paper Spartathlon's the hardest because of the ups and downs and the mountain as I say, at mile 100 to climb. But Grand Union Canal's it's runnable. It's all runnable, which is relentless, because there's no, at least,
change in terrain, is there? And there's a little bit of like the ground might be different.
The ground was hard because sometimes you had shale and it's hard to get going. Sometimes it's grassy, and when you go off road and there's maybe only a thin pathway kind of cut, so you're trying to run sort of with your feet together, kind of, there's no room. So the terrain was tricky. As I guess Spartathlon and Alma 24, they're on road, they're flat, they're road surface. So the surface was hard on Grand Union.
Okay, let's talk about the race itself and how you found that. Try and condense 28 hours and 35 minutes into about 2 minutes. I mean, tell us, just give us a bit of a summary. Did you expect to win it and be third overall? Like, what was your expectations going into the race?
We did have a plan to start with. Me and Paul McGee, who's my main crew, had 3 people crewing me: Sarah, Paul, and Renee McGregor, who's a top dietitian in the sports field. But obviously, anything can go out the window. That's why I think you've got to be a bit more relaxed about ultras, because you could train for 8 and then your hamstring goes, and then for anyone, how much you train. So it's like, be careful how much you've got to keep an open mind about what's going to happen in an ultra. I was hoped to be in the top, but I had no idea about the gut. There's some really good. I didn't know many of the ladies in it. I knew a couple. There's some top guys in it though, who did Spartathlon with me as well. And unfortunately, they didn't finish. They had a high dropout. 48 people dropped out at the Grand Union. Only
I saw that, and it was only
46
or something, wasn't there?
What's that? Sorry.
There's about 97 entrants. So I think it's
Yeah, 52 finished. Yeah, so that's pretty much 50-50, which shows how hard it is. And we set off at like 9-minute miling, probably, for, I think my first 80 miles averaged out at 11-minute miles for the first 80. And obviously that includes everything. That's just everything.
Stopping and fueling and
yeah. And then I had buddy runners meeting me. The race rules allow from mile 65 to have different buddy runners. So I had 2 of the main crew, Renee and Sarah, and then I had another 3, Fiona, Tom, and Neil, buddy running me, which shows how hard it is when you've got 5 people buddy running you and you've already run 65 miles. Kind of, it's crazy, isn't it? Then, so everything was okay to start with. I think, maybe around about a mile 80, 90, the wheels start to come off. Just more than anything, mentally, it was kind of, we had this, but keep going, getting under overall 12-minute miling. You might be able to get the course record. We was in there for quite a while. And then it just did my head in. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't, because I wanted to walk, because they said, well, you have to do the 12-minute mile. No, but I want to walk, and the crew doing everything to try and keep me going. It was, I think it's one of my buddy runners said they never heard me swear so much in my life. I just wanted to stop, and then think when we got to my last changeover, my last buddy, they're like, you've only got 12 miles to go. Oh my God.
Oh, that's what
I was crushed. I said, I can't cope. I can't do this. It was mentally, my body was okay. kind of, well, you know, as okay as it can be at that stage, let's face it. But I couldn't imagine keeping running, because even 12-minute mile you'd have to run. So, but then eventually I said, "Is there anyone behind me? Is anyone on my tail? Because after all this, I want to keep my place." I just heard that I was third overall, which I thought was amazing.
Mm.
So, and then so my crew went and asked the last checkpoint, and apparently there's a guy coming through at like 10-minute miling. I was like, "Oh," I said, "He can have it. I can't do it." But Rini at the time was like, "No way is some guy gonna beat you. No way." So just slowly, and then stop and run and stop. Then it's slowly the competitiveness, and we got some more food in me, because I think I was getting a bit low on energy, to be honest. So more fuel, and then we were down to like a 9.5-minute miling again at the end, which after that it feels like you're sprinting. Like,
Yeah.
I am on fire. Like, I think a woman possessed, and I kept on saying to Rooney, "Is anyone behind me? Is anyone behind me?" Because I knew that I couldn't look behind me, because I would have fallen over, because I was just, you know, a bit all over the place. So no, it's only Sunday morning joggers and runners out, and then cross the line. But what relief! What a relief!
How amazing! How amazing! So let's talk a bit about the two things. One, the mental side of things, and also like sleep deprivation, and also about fueling. Because to be on your feet for 28 hours, like in that time, normally on a normal day, 28 hours, you have breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and when you're on your feet for that whole time, obviously you're using so much energy. You need more than a full day's worth of food. How did you feel? What and did as well? Like I've spoken to some people and when you do a marathon, you
Yeah,
know exactly what you're gonna
yeah,
what points. Whereas on an ultra, your body, you just have to, if it wants something, you just give it what it wants.
yeah. Well, I always eat the whole way, the whole way. So I can't believe sometimes people bump into that are running as well, and they're not eating enough, and they're relying on or they're waiting till later in the race. You've got to do it straight away. So from as soon as I saw my crew, I would be given. So I had sandwiches. So I'd have white bread, cut the crusts off, so it's like little biteable squares.
Yeah,
So I have a mixture of jam, ham, and cheese. So different. It's like one big picnic. Like running, they'd pass me sandwiches and running away eating. It's quite funny. Tailwind, have a lot of
yeah,
drink of that. So that's obviously already mixed up with all your the electrolytes, energy, some minerals, and lots of fruit. So bananas, bits of orange, peaches. So a really good one is, and they do the peach pop, so they're already chopped up.
yeah,
A lot of peaches, anything that goes down easily. So I've tried before, had flapjack type things, chia bars and stuff, but it's just, we just can't eat it. It's
yeah,
try good biting, just too much effort. But the thing is to eat as much normal food as you can before, because your stomach will go in a big race, or rather, sorry, your appetite will go. It's like you know you've got to eat,
yeah,
but you just don't want to eat anything. So you need to make sure you've got enough fuel in you. So by the end, you could continue if you really can't take anything. So also a couple of times noodles, so little super noodles, chicken super noodles, anything that's it just goes down whilst, I guess, moist. You can't. I hate that word. But we had chicken super noodles, more fruit, more tailwind. I think Rini knows what she just hides things as well, because obviously salt. I'm like a little furnace. So one of my big problems I had was I overheat, and I overheated again in this race. So basically, it's that I'm working at too high a heart rate. I'm boiling. I mean, overnight I didn't put a single layer on, still just sweating. So they're trying to get enough salt in me. And I don't like salt in anything. I don't like the taste of salt. So they're hiding it in things, and they're like mixing gels in my orange squash, and they're like um and I don't notice any of these things. We have these tactics of putting things in.
I guess
So eating straight away.
I guess if you were in such a delirious state as well, when they were handing you something, you just trust their judgment and like, yeah,
Yeah,
that's it, thanks. Oh,
yeah.
sounds like they were fantastic for you.
Oh, they were brilliant. Yeah, they're brilliant. Which is why what brings us into why I do this sort of thing, when I say that I don't particularly like running long distances. I love the challenges for the challenge, because it's just amazing what you can do, and the competition. So I like competing in those ultras, but I like the team thing. So when I had the crew, buddy runners, I had people coming out because we run. I'm an amateur, and we run through Ricky on the Grand Union, so quite not far from here. Had a few Chiltern Harriers. They actually got up at 1 in the morning, ran to the canal to see me, and ran back. I think that's more nutty than me. But I mean, lovely. What just blessed, to have
Yeah,
that support. I had friends that appeared like at 3 in the morning with lights around them, with Go Ali, and just in the middle of the nowhere, just waiting for me. That's just lovely. And it feels at the end, when I'm suffering, I've got them doing tactics, white lies, how they can get me through. It feels like it was a team effort at the end. So running can be solitary, but I love it's definite team thing, and I love that because I used to play hockey. That's what I did as a kid. So I like team sport, and it brings a bit more back into that.
amazing. So, how did you deal with the sleep deprivation? Because at 3 a.m., the last thing I'd want to be doing is out in the dark running along the canal.
Do you know what? Going back to my 20s, when I said I was out a lot, I was very much in the dance scene. So I used to go to a lot of raves. So probably from the age of 17, probably mid-30s still, even when I was running, went to quite a few all-nighters. So my friends reckon they helped me train. But I think you realise when, obviously that's got nothing to do with about you, but it still gives me a knowledge. It's okay, you don't fall apart. You can stay up
Yeah,
all night dancing, and nothing happens. So there's probably something in that it's not, let's face it, now I am in bed by about 9 p.m. every night, so make that clear, I'm very boring. But I guess you've got that hit. I love the running at night, the dark. So when I do the 24-hour stuff, I like the night because you can't sort of see the people, and because I'm really annoyed. I can't. I'm always have to be, please, thank you, hello. Like I'm always over polite, and I think I wear myself out. So when it's dark, at least I can, you know,
yeah,
go back down. And something beautiful and calm, especially do anything like endure, because you're really out in the countryside. Then it's magical. It's so peaceful. But you're always going to hit like in Spartath. I remember we'd already done the mountain, so I've been running for 20, so that took me 30 hours for a long time, and you're just looking at blades of grass thinking, "Ah, looks so comfy, lie down." You know it's not safe, you can't lie on the side of the road, you just keep going. So you do get ups and downs, but you've set out, you know what you're doing. I never doubt. I never go into something doubting I'm gonna finish. So
yeah,
I know that something could happen. You could pull a hamstring, you could be sick, but you can't control that. But I always know that I'm going to finish if nothing's getting in the way. So it's just one foot, one step at a time.
fantastic. Big question: would you do it again?
I think I've ticked that box for Grand Union. You never say never, but I think I'm really happy with my first lady, and I was fourth fastest female ever over the last 25 years. So that'll do. I mean, it's all be nice to be first, but that's getting older now. I'd,
Pretty impressive. Well done.
I'd like to do bad waters on my list, but it's just really expensive. So, but that's what the bad water in America.
Oh, it's in America. No, I've not.
In Death, it's in Death Valley.
Wow. Okay.
So it's Death Valley because it's the hottest place on earth, and that's like 135 miles. But you need a crew again, and it's a lot of money, isn't it? But that's on my wish list.
Yeah, I guess as well. You've got to get all your crew out there. It's a bit different. And if you're in the UK, it's fine because you
Yeah,
can travel locally. But
exactly. Yeah.
going out to America might be a bit. bit different.
Yeah, but I've always, because I've got the 24, I've got the World Championships in October, so I've got big things. Well, that's obviously an A race, clearly, in October. But yeah, who knows what is next?
Yeah, what have you got planned for the summer?
Well, I reckon park run on Saturday. I'm feeling a bit of a park run hit. Summer, I tend to, because I feel I've had London Marathon, Grand Union, so the whole year as mentally I've been somewhere, you know,
Yeah.
because I do focus a lot on the marathon, and obviously then.
Sorry to interrupt. You
Yeah.
got a PB, didn't you, at London?
I did by about 2 seconds.
Oh, PB's still a PB.
I know, but well, people will know what I mean when because I've done 3 hours, 1 minute, 3 times. So clearly, it's obvious where I want to go, where I want to be.
It's of sub 3.
Yeah, and it's not. So can we just say 261?
Yeah. Yeah, you've done 261. Yeah.
So I was very frustrated, I have to say, after London. I was a bit down. So this obviously is a good icing on the cake for this. So yeah.
Brilliant. So what would you say? What led you to it? If we were obviously going for a 2:59 or quicker, what led to the 3:01?
You mean what was the problem? Kind of what went wrong? Trying to stay polite. Why didn't you do it? I think I know I don't do my long runs quick enough. So I know, so I've got my easy runs nailed. The difference in my fast pace will be 5 minutes something for my speed work, and my easy runs are 9.5 minute miling. And that's why I think don't get injured too much as well. So I really do mix my pace up, but I don't think I pull my finger out enough on my long runs. So I need to do longer tempo runs. I kind of know it's just, but so I think that's why, and we know why it's not, because I find them hard. But I guess
At the stage then at the race, I guess were you hitting a certain pace at the start of London?
Yeah, so I think it's like what 6:52, 6:42.
Yeah, 6:52 because I have never been that close to a sub 3 hour, but I like 1:30 is my kind of target for a half, so I always know that it's 6:52.
Yeah, no, good. So I think my half marathon, sorry, I hit half at 1:30, so I was bang on halfway, and yeah, I don't know what, I just didn't have it in me. Basically, I just wasn't good enough.
Oh.
There you go.
Well, do 1:30 in the first half and still do 1:31 in the second half.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, the good thing is, because obviously you always get that, oh, I'm getting older, which is obvious. But we've got my fastest ever park run time this year, so that is woo.
Yeah. What was that? Was that like 18 something?
18:31.
Wow.
So I'm pleased with that. Yeah. So I'll keep chugging along.
I think marathons is one of the hardest distances to crack, if I'm being honest.
I think it is, and 10Ks, I think they're pretty.
Yeah, God, we're so similar. I hate 10Ks. I'm racing them. Like 5Ks, I don't mind going fast for.
Yeah.
18 odd minutes. Yeah, I can endure pain for that long.
Yeah.
When you then get up into 40 minutes for a 10K.
Yeah.
No.
Luckily, I got 38 minutes a few years ago, so I was lucky. I ticked the box of the sub 40, but I haven't done one for ages. Actually, 10K. I should do one, but my 5K is my favourite.
Yeah, I guess 10K is quite a popular one throughout summer, so you could a few months get.
I'll tell you what's next. Actually, ironically, which I just signed up to last night, I'm going to Oxford Open and doing an 800 meters.
Oh, cool! The track work.
Yeah, I do like the track. It's very rare I get there, but ideally I'd love to do a track season for age group. So yeah, so from 143 to the 800 meters, that's next.
Yeah, fantastic. And then how are you going to prepare for the World Champs? Is it going to be the same thing? Just train and see where it gets you, or?
There will be a bit of that, but when So it's ad hoc, but I do take it serious. I train hard, you know, but
Yeah, no, I don't doubt that at all for a minute. I was quite like, no, I know how hard you do train.
so, but in the summer, I'm going away again. So in Greece, I'll train in the hot heat of the day. I think that gives you good benefits. I've got a couple of 6-hour training runs in September, which because I don't, they're kind of I've forgotten what they're called, to be honest, but they're just local and they're on a Thursday, so they fit my schedule and not means I'm not out from the house from the kids, and it means I can do a long. I'll treat it as a training run, was because I'd never do that on my own. Nowhere would I run for 6 hours. So that's those are 2 good training sessions, and then I'll go with the flow.
Fantastic. Oh, I'll have to invite you on later in the year and you can talk more about your training and hopefully tell us a bit more about the championships afterwards.
Yeah, we got a bronze medal last year at the European Championships. The ladies team and the men got silver medal. So let's hope we can do well this year too.
Yeah, well, brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time today. It's been a pleasure talking to you. It's been great listening.
Sorry for rambling.
No, I've loved it. I've hung on to every single word you said, so it's been amazing. So thank you so much. Thanks for coming on.
Pleasure, and I will hopefully see you soon.
Yeah, and good luck with all your future training.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.